Good morning, it's Gemma. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to do a sort of silver therapy stroke forest bathing in action video. By that I mean I'm going to use forest bathing, well what I've been doing for a while now, sitting under a tree to see whether it lowers my stress levels today, because I've got some ecotherapy buddy volunteer training to do in a crowded, well I don't know if it's going to be crowded, but in a room full of people. That I haven't done something like that for 6 years. I suffer from severe contamination, OCD, especially since the pandemic, and even though I've made a lot of progress, I can go on public transport, share a carriage with other people for quite a long time, but I've not actually been in a room where I'm having to function and contribute to conversations, and where I'm having to stay there. I can't just get up and leave. Haven't done that for 6 years probably. So it's very angst provoking, and I'm sort of catastrophizing, and so I've got things are complicated at home. Won't go into that, but I've got worries about leaving the house for various reasons. So a bit more about the job that I'm training for today. It's ecotherapy buddy volunteer is to basically help people that struggle with mental illness and isolation and loneliness with their garden projects at Forest Farm Peace Garden, which is a really beautiful place, and if I can manage it through the training and everything, it'll be an exciting thing for me to get involved with. And they've been very accommodating of my access needs, more so than my own GP. And this is Barkingside. It's coming up to rush hour, and I think it's nice and cool, which was my aim, so I could get there to Ilford without being too hot. I think the more you've got on your mind when it's kind of chaotic on the outside, it sort of adds to it and makes things worse. So I just need to be in a calm environment so I can get my head around everything that life entails, and I'm sure that's the same for a lot of people, because life is complicated and stressful, especially in these times. So it turns out this is a really good time to be out, because there's no pedestrians really on the streets, so that eliminates chances of me being jostled and bumped into and stuff, which I hate. This is another park that we're walking through. Not sure what this one's called actually. On our way to Ilford. This little park just walked through is called Queen Elizabeth II Field, Barkingside Recreational Ground. We're at Gants Hill now. Things are starting to get busy. I've just seen a sign up saying for the public not to give homeless people money on the streets, and that charities are helping them out, and to donate to the charities instead. And for God's sake, if I want to give my change to people in need, I will. You know, I mean, what hope is there for people that are on the streets when, you know, what you're supposed to do, just ignore them completely? I think if certain members of society weren't such greedy bastards, there wouldn't be so many people on the streets. So, yeah. We're just approaching Valentines Park now. I haven't got an enormous amount of time here, so just make the most of it. Just bought myself some nuts, something to eat. And crows. All the daisies are closed up. When the sun comes out, they'll all open out. I've never seen a heron up this close before. It's absolutely gorgeous. I wonder if you can see him. I don't want to get too close. I'll take that as a good omen. Leave me alone now. Lake. They want my breakfast. Some incredible trees here in this park. Very old ones as well, and I've got my eye on one that I'm going to visit. I'm just going to see this swan. This is the most peaceful visit I've had to this park. I think it's carrying some Yes, cygnets are gorgeous. Not going to get too close. How I wish I could stay here the whole day and not go into this office environment with people. Right, let's find this tree. Yeah, I had this tree kind of in my mind's eye. Saw it in the winter. Just wait for this boy to pass. Some kind of conifer. Got a lot to learn about how to identify trees still. You can see some fir cones there anyway. Some kind of fir tree. Isn't it beautiful? Some ducks. Mallards. Hello. Having the water nearby is going to be a real treat as well. So what I'll do is I'm going to sit here for 10-15 minutes, and as usual I'll post in the community section my observations for today. I'd like to really focus, make the most of these few minutes to myself before I go and face the day. Change my mind, actually. It's probably easier just to talk for today instead of write things down. These ducks certainly aren't shy. Again, I've never seen ducks up this close before. Oops. The park's starting to get busier. I'm sat on the ground and it's covered in pine needles. I was going to sit on the grass, but there are poos everywhere. So that would be a great start to the day, arriving with dog shit all over my arse. It'd be classic. I can't really put my legs down because I'll get pine needles all over backs of my trousers. Looking up into this tree reminds me of looking at a road map You know, those really busy street maps. Trying to take some deep breaths. I spent a lovely day yesterday in the garden, cutting the grass with shears. I do it by hand, partly because we don't have a lawnmower that's working at the moment, and partly because I love the feel of the grass, and I like to make sure there's no slugs and snails that I'm going to chop in half or anything. And it was hard work, but I managed to do most of the lawn. And I put the dahlias in. Dahlia tubers, they're already starting to sprout in the bags that I had them in the porch. And I potted on some other plants. Let's go and have a look. Closer look at the trunk. The bark's a lot more kind of patterned. You've got sort of smaller little circles of, I don't know what you call them, smaller kind of grooves in the bark than the oak tree we visit's got. Right. Well, I've got some lovely things to remember if I start panicking in the room. You know, I can just think of that heron or the graceful swan and these beautiful ducks. Wow, what a treat I'm having today. We've got crows nearby as well. And one with a bald head. I hope that's some type of eagle. Hello? Hello? Oh dear. He's coming right up to the... He's eating out of my hand. Some fruit. Looks as if he's had his tail bitten off or something though. Well, we'd never see this at Claybury Park, so where I normally go. Oh no, he's climbing my leg. He's climbing up my leg. Right, I'm going to go before I get more waylaid. If only I could stay. Let's go into real life now. Well, this is real life, but you know what I mean. The world of people and trying to fit in, say the right thing, do the right thing. Anyway, got to get on. This is another lake here. It's part of the park. It's the boathouse in the distance. People have been doing some pavement art. Spider there. Very nice. Lovely heart. Come on, Gemma, get a move on. Nature, I feel, provides me with sort of like an unconditional love, and is always there for me to go back into after things that I find difficult. So here we are in Ilford town centre. You can see it's a very different atmosphere indeed. Yeah, different world completely. And I get anxious when I'm walking, sort of, even if I'm walking behind a man and there's nobody else around. And that happened just now when I was in the park, and I turned round and there was a squirrel behind me, and I thought, oh, at least the squirrel's got my back. Well, here's the venue, Ilford Chambers. This is what I need. So somebody's very kindly just shown me the way. My anxiety's already ramping up, but just think of those lovely trees and animals we've just seen, and I'll be okay, I'm sure. So, yeah, I've found the place and I've managed to get in the building, meet a few people. Already had my first embarrassing moment. I'd just been to the toilet and was dried my hands, but they weren't completely dry. And somebody wanted to shake my hand, and of course my hand was wet, so that was embarrassing. I don't know if I'm going to cope with this, but I'm going to try. I was very early, so they're all setting up, so they told me to go and get a coffee, which is fine. And yeah. Got my coffee, and I thought I'd read my book for 10 minutes, Walking in the Woods, by Professor Yoshifumi Miyazaki, one of the founders of silver therapy. If I can't be in the woods or in the park, this is the next best thing, I guess. So, and there's a bookmark. I bought a photo of myself when I was a baby, just to kind of remind myself of how far I've travelled in my 50 years of being alive. I'll be 50 in September, and things I've overcome. in my life, and this is a big obstacle today. And anybody that suffers from anxiety will know what I'm talking about. So, yeah. So I'll be going in 5-10 minutes, and I'll report back at the lunch hour or after the session. Well, I'm glad to report that I did it. I'm really proud of myself. It was a really positive experience. I'm absolutely knackered because I can't pretend that it wasn't difficult. It took me so much energy just sort of holding it all together. My anxiety was through the roof. But really nice bunch of people. Really, non-judgmental, accepting of everybody, and I'm just that exhausted that I can't, I just can't think of anything very much more to say at the moment, but yeah, I'm excited to learn more, and I've got the next training day in a couple of weeks' time, actually, at the garden. Yeah, so all in all, a really good day, and I think just coming out of the sun a bit. In terms of how the visit to the park helped me cope, it definitely did. I felt all the amazing magical time I had. It was quite magical when all the creatures were coming up to me and stuff. I felt that I was being supported somehow, and that the universe was for me rather than against me, and kind of gave me hope that, yeah, in a few hours I'll get out of the room and in one piece, and I'll survive the experience, which I did. So, and it gave me a good story to tell other people. I think one woman sort of said, "Oh, I'm not surprised you're tired. I would have just got on the bus and came here." You know, some people just don't get it, of course. And then you sort of think, you get the negativity bias, you're sort of thinking of all the negative things people say rather than the positive. And no, it was a positive day. I got on with people and made some valuable contributions, I think. So, yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting back to my Buddy, my black cat. He's called Buddy. So every time they mentioned the word Buddy, I was filled with a warm, fuzzy feeling, because he's like, oh, I love him to bits. Anyway, on that note, thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you again soon. Bye. Me again, sorry, I must just show you this. It seems like a fitting end to the video. The council have planted some new trees in this section. I have to say the council are really pro nature and looking after the place here. So yeah, lovely to see some new trees. And also, it was surprising how so many people at the training shared the same fear that I did, that people wouldn't like you, or you wouldn't be good enough, you wouldn't fit in. So lots of people actually share the same fears. And the other thing that really struck me today, we were talking about different diagnoses of mental illness, like paranoid schizophrenia, autism, anxiety, depression, probably more, but I can't think of them at the moment. But just the similarities between all of them had never occurred to me before. And I think mental illness kind of manifests in part because of people just being pushed beyond human capacity and having to kind of try and operate on empty a lot of the time. And now you add to the mix poverty and food scarcity for many. Life's hard. So yeah, anyway, I'll have more to say when I'm a bit more awake. Okay then, bye.